Okay. I did a video and I said in the video that we need to take the guns. I didn't mean we need to take the guns, like take everybody's guns. What I meant was because that's not realistic, and it's not fair. What I meant was that everybody doesn't need a gun, an AR-15 type of gun, because as I was saying, you can have a 22 and still kill someone with a 22, which is what the judge was saying. It doesn't matter the type of gun that you have, you can still kill someone. What I mean is that we don't need those type of guns where you can kill people with that type of gun. It's not necessary anymore in this day and age that we have those type of guns that kill people. Background checks are not going to work because people are killing people that don't have any past mental illness, like the man that just killed those doctors, those two doctors, and the receptionist and our vet. I hate when people kill vets because they defend our country, and they shouldn't have to have people, young or old, defend our country and then come home and be homeless and not be able to get a job, be murdered by someone for a senseless act when they're in their heyday and their retirement. And I just hate to see anybody do anything to a vet. That's my own bias, not just because my brother was a vet. He was, and just anybody. I hate for them to suffer anything because they are the ones that really defend our democracy, not these people walking around talking bullshit and not doing anything for us. Not people, Anyway, that's another whole thing. People who are go to war for us and defend us. That is our real democracy. Not people in our Congress writing and passing bills. Anyway, back to the topic. We need to get rid of the people that are in Congress, whether they're Republican or Democrat, that have already been in there 30 years, because this is where they're at. They're not going to give. They're not going to give. So yes, I love and respect Nancy Pelosi, but she got to go. She's not going to come to an agreement with anybody. Mitch McConnell, he's not going to come to an agreement. These people have been there so long. They're it for us. And if we keep voting them back in, we're stupid. I just said I had to vote for Bonnie Watson Coleman. I'm sure she's doing some wonderful in some program for someone somewhere, but she's not helping in Congress. So the reason I said that we are killing these people and we are killing these kids is because it's the voting class right now that keeps voting them back in. And that's why nothing is getting done. Nothing in the House of Representatives, nothing in Congress, nothing in the Senate. Together, they're the Congress. When I say that, it's not that I don't know there's a difference. A lot of people don't know there's a difference. They just call them the Congress. So together, collectively, they are the Congress. And that is why nothing's getting done. Because people like me, people like you, the voters, we keep voting them back in, and we have to stop doing that. Democrat, Republican, Independent, we keep voting their asses back in. It's our fault. That is what I'm telling you. We keep voting them back in. So I'm not voting for any of these people anymore. And there's a guy, this Philip Scott, he keeps telling people not to vote. That is the wrong thing to do. And I didn't have a choice. I had to vote for either the MAGA Republican or Bonnie Watson Coleman, because on my ballot, I mailed in my ballot. And so it was either don't vote, which I'm not going to do because I have it. I'm registered to do a mail-in ballot. I have to change that so that I can physically go and vote. So now that COVID is, which is why I said I had nobody to vote for but her. because I couldn't write it in on the ballot. There was no one else to vote for but Bonnie Watson Coleman. So I have to change it so that I can physically go in. And I am going to change it so that I can go and vote and see who else there is to vote for. But honestly, there's nobody else running. A lot of Democrats aren't running. So we have to now look for other people that are running and either write them in, or vote for the same, people and just keep voting them in. But it is literally our fault because we have nobody else to vote for. And so they're not going to get rid of the filibuster. So joke's on us. The joke's on us because they know we're stuck with them and they know they're not going to change the bill. So what are we going to do? Keep voting them back in? What are we going to do? Vote for MAGA? And so it's funny because the regular Republicans are now saying, we don't want Proud Boys. We don't want the MAGA Republicans. We just want regular Republicans. And the regular Republicans are pushed out of their party. You're pushed out of your party. And so this is why in my heading, one of my headings, I said regular Republicans and independents vote for progressive Democrats, because the conservative Democrats like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Clive, I forget his name, down south, the guy Clive, he is those people are those moderate Democrats and those conservative Democrats, they're Republican now. They're Republican. So they're voting for business. So Nancy Pelosi, who used to be a Democrat, I won't say she's a Republican, but she's a liberal Republican is the way she's voting. Because she's no longer voting with progressives who are voting for people that like myself. So their policies no longer benefit people like myself. So what she used to do 30 years ago, wonderful. She's no longer doing it now. So she's not supporting reparations. She's not supporting free college. She's not supporting any of that. So what she was 30 years ago doesn't matter now. She's still made millions of dollars off of back deals. So I'm not blaming anybody who did that, because they all did it. And now she's saying, now that AOC is making a big deal of it, yes, we should do it. But for 30 years, she was against it. And for 30 years, she knew about it and sat on committees about it and got the information about it. And her husband made millions of dollars from it. And this is why they have a sum total of $30 million in wealth. And now she's saying, okay, now that AOC is making a big deal out of it, no committee member should have anything. But her stance over the last 35 years was, maybe we should look into it and explore it. But her stance over the last 30 years was, this stock is, a free enterprise. Yeah. Anybody can, buy stock. We're not going to create a bill where anyone in Congress can't buy stock. We're not going to have a bill that says if you're a congressperson or if you work in public, you can't buy stock. It should be that way. If you take a public job, you should be forbidden from buying stock until you no longer work in public. Because see, you get reports that give you stock tips because you sit on those committees. Now she's saying that after 30 years and after $30 million of wealth. So, and they all do it. I'm not pointing out just Nancy Pelosi. They all do it. And so I started to say this in another video about Cory Booker. and I cut myself short because that wasn't the purpose of that video. But they all do it. And so the point of this video, we want to cut this too. I'm going to cut a lot of this stuff out of this one too. So I have to keep these videos short. Is that you can't get rid of guns. We have to get rid of the people that have been there and replace them with people that are going to, one, get rid of the filibuster, two, start giving us grants, giving the regular people grants so that we can have an opportunity to survive in this world. Right now. It makes absolutely no sense that you can take billions of dollars of our tax money and send it to another country and help. Do you realize that Biden is sending this money to Ukraine, not just for the war? It's so that they can rebuild their economy. The thing that they're saying they cannot give us right now in this country, it's for the war, yes. But listen to this. Whomever winds up with Ukraine, whatever parts of Ukraine, Putin's going to wind up with part of it. I can't remember his name. Chisinski, whatever his name is going to wind up with a part of it, Ukraine. The money that Biden is sending to Ukraine is to build up all of Ukraine. So that little bastard Putin is blowing up parts of Ukraine because he knows that the goddamn money that Biden is sending over there is going to be used to build up all of Ukraine, not just the parts of Ukraine that the president, damn if I can say his name, the president of Ukraine is going to get, Chisinski, or whatever his name is. And so literally taking our tax dollars, our American tax dollars, to send to a country. Who is the president of Ukraine?
Showing pictures that match.
Zelensky. So President Zelensky is getting assistance to build up Ukraine, but it's the money that he's sending is also going to build up the parts that Putin is blowing up, and that's part of the deal that Zelensky and Putin are making. That is what that money is for. So ain't that a bitch? He's blowing up. Putin is blowing up parts of Ukraine that belongs to Zelensky, that he knows belongs to Zelensky, because he knows Biden's giving Zelensky money to build it back up with our tax dollars. So that's that economic. They're going to build that country back up with our tax dollars that this little punk is blowing up. The bridges that he's blowing up, the ports that he's blowing up, the buildings that he's blowing up, the roads, the railroads, all those billions of dollars that he's going is not just for the war. And he's saying it. He's saying economic relief. But we can't get that here. We can't get that in America. And he's sending our goddamn tax dollars that we worked for to a foreign country to give them economic relief. And you want me to vote him back into office. But we can't get reparations. We can't get student relief, $10,000. People have student debt that is $100,000. And he could sign an executive order and wipe that goddamn debt completely away. And we're supposed to vote this motherfucker back into office? Really? But he won't take his pen with an executive order and wipe out the debt for every single solitary American so that they don't start out with that debt. It ain't going to cost America a goddamn penny. It's our tax dollars. It's our money. So if you say we're not going to pay it, so the fuck what? It's our money that we're not paying back. It's not like Fannie Mae going to go belly up. We're not paying back ourselves. Come on. You can wipe away the student debt. You can wipe away the student debt. Because in the time that I've sat here making this goddamn video, you've collected that much more of our taxes again. And if you're that concerned about it, then take 1% of the $1 billion that you're sending to Ukraine and don't send it, and pay Sallie Mae, pay the salaries of the people at Fannie and Sallie Mae. That's what you can do. Because you'll have a problem with that open wallet that you got sending over to Ukraine. I don't mind that you want to help somebody, but you all created this war. Excuse me, you all created the budget for this war. The budget for the war. You didn't create the war. But who knows what type of machinations that went on behind that. To every time there's a war, you get to have a second term. We've been onto that since the 60s, right? That you automatically get a second term when there's an ongoing war. You know, American people aren't stupid. We understand. Oh, you can't leave office when there's a war. Why the fuck not? You didn't start the war, and it's never our war. It's never our war. There's a war. We're dragged into it. And how is it going to look if the president leaves in the middle of a war? It's going to look just fine. It's never our war. It's not like you're leaving in the middle of our war. Then it would look fucked up. But if you leave in the middle of a war that you didn't start with another country, it look okay to me. But I am never upset with politicians, because it's people, it's the voters, and I'm never upset with the voters. I'm upset with the people who are not voting. And at some point, Black people, I don't want to hear nothing that y'all have to say, because y'all have not been voting. And at some point, right now, the regular Republicans, y'all sat back and let these fear-mongering MAGA and Proud Boy racists into your party. I don't want to hear much that y'all have to say, because you people knew that these racists were out there, and you did this. And if any of us said that you all are associating with racists, perish the thought. That's what you all were doing. Plenty of times I've said that was racist. And I was looked at like, oh, what do you mean? Everything is, you always want to say everything is racist. No, I don't want to say everything is racist, because I know plenty of white people that are not racist, and they don't say racist things, and they don't hang out with racist motherfuckers. And they're not offended if somebody says something that was racist, because they recognize it for what it is. It's just a race. And sometimes they've said racist things. And if somebody says, you know what, that was kind of racist, like, why are you agreeing with that? They weren't even offended by it. They say, yeah, that was racist. So, and the other thing is that this thing that white people are going to be replaced by people of color. So the fuck what? So what if you are? That's the dumbest shit I have ever heard in my life. So what if you are? What does that mean? At some point, Hispanics are going to outnumber Black people. They're almost at that point now. They have not outnumbered us, but at some point they are, because we're having less and less babies. And the reason I say that is we're not on the census. You haven't outnumbered us yet. But at some point, Hispanics will outnumber us. But right now, white people and Hispanic people are outnumbered by Asians. And did the world come to a fucking end? No. Guess what? The government told them, stop having babies. You can only have one baby. We can't afford to feed you motherfuckers. They had started killing them off. They were having so many babies, their government started killing them off. They were having babies in secrecy. What happened to black people? Nothing. What happened to white people? Nothing. So why do you care if there's more black people in the world than there are white people? What happened? Nothing happened to you. Not a damn thing happened to you. So what? Didn't that happen to you? You would have had, you would have had as many, your numbers would have been even with black people had you not mistreated your white people, had you not mistreated your daughters. Back when I was growing up, I'm 54 now, but if you were not beating your wives, raping your daughters, committing incest, maybe the white race would still be here. See, you went to church and you said that black people were monsters and mongrels and monkeys and uncouth and uneducated. And all those 20 and 30 and 40 years that you said all of that, you were beating your sons and mistreating them and telling them that they were no good. So they couldn't wait to be grown and out from under you, white motherfucking monsters. You were fucking your daughters, taking their virginities, making sure that their first child was your child, marrying them off. And by the time their husbands realized that, oh, the first child wasn't even theirs, and that the first child was the fuck crazy, because the first child was actually not their son, but their grandfather's father, and the rest of the children came out okay, but the first child was a little touched, and all of his children was touched. And it wasn't until DNA came about that they realized, oh, the reason this one is fucked up and all of their children are fucked up is because this is not my child. This is my wife's brother. And you guys, you got the older men got off on of that. But you had on your suit and your tie and everything else. Nobody realized that you messed up your child. And now these children are grown children. And you pass that on, and that's what that seed is. And so this is why these white women did not want to have your children. And then their children found out about it. And then their children's children found out about it. And they were disgusted with you. And they became lesbians, or they became gay. You sent them to churches, Catholic churches, where they were raped. And here it is 30 years later, and here's all these lawsuits. You are filthy. And that's why your race has dwindled down to nothing. And you pointed the finger at the black race, and you pointed your fingers at the Hispanic race, and every race that you could think to point at any race that you could think to point at, and said that we were disgusting and we were immoral. And you made sure that we weren't educated, and you said everything negative about us that you could, and you took over anything that we had, our lands, anything and everything that you could take from us. You took it. You took over the radios, you took over the TVs, and you showed yourself as this perfect mother and father and family That's what you did. But what was really happening is that you all were raping and beating your families. And now what is left? They are rebelling. They're rebelling against y'all. They think that sex is horrible. Who attacked the Capitol? That was the funniest shit I ever saw in my life. That was so funny to me. Oh my God, it's an insurrection. No, it wasn't. It was a civil war. A civil war that you created. You know who they're going to attack next? They coming for you. I ain't even going to tell you because you're not going to have me recorded and then take my words and twist it and say that I put the thought in somebody's head. I'm going to wait for it to happen. But I know who they're coming for. They're going to tear y'all asses up. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to say it. But this is your doing. You made these people. Anyway, that's off topic. So I'm telling you guys right now, and I'm asking you nicely what my time is. Woo! Yep. So anyway, I'm going to need you regular Republicans, not you MAGAs, because you MAGAs aren't as bad as you Proud Boys. You have to please join us regular Democrats and vote for progressives. We got to get rid of these conservative Democrats, not because we don't love them, because we do, but they're at a stalemate with the regular Republicans. And I'm not talking about, I'm telling you, anybody who has gray hair, you may love your Republicans. That's fine. But if they have gray hair and they have been in there 30, 35, or 40 years, they have to go. Not because we don't appreciate them. Not because we don't love them, because we do. But they are at a stalemate and we need them to go. Not because we want to take away the guns. We don't. But we have to get rid of the filibuster and we want to expand the court. What court? The United States Supreme Court. We want to expand it. I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to cut this out anyway. So you can sit back and you can complain, but right now it's our fault. It is our fault. So it's not the person who's shooting people. It's not the person who's killing people. It's not the law. It's not any of that. It is our fault because a lot of people are not going to go and vote. A lot of people are not registered to vote. We can ask them to vote. We can ask them to register to vote. They're not going to vote. There's not going to be this influx of people that's going to run down and register to vote. It's going to be the same motherfuckers, just you and me that are already registered. You and me, the responsible ones who get the fuck up and go to the polls and vote. Everybody else going to keep bullshitting around, riding up and down the street, pointing their finger at the TV, talking, bullshitting around, and oh, damn it. Was that yesterday? I forgot. These irresponsible motherfuckers. Oh, that's a shame that happened. They're going to keep making YouTube videos. They're going to keep getting up, going to their job. They're not going to vote. They're not going to vote. They're going to keep talking about it with their friends, but they're not going to vote. They're not going to register. They're going to keep going shopping. They're going to keep talking about it in the aisle when they see people. But who's going to vote? You and me. We're going to vote because we're always the same motherfuckers who always vote. We always go online. We always talk about it with each other. It's us. It's our fault because we keep voting in the same people. So that's why I'm making this video. We have to stop voting in the same people. We are the ones that keep voting. The numbers don't go up. They don't go down. And I'm tired of voting for the same people. So I'm asking you, please join me getting rid of these people, and we can put in more progressive people that will get rid of the same people that we keep voting in. It is us. It is us. And I keep banging my head trying to figure out what is the matter with people in all the 50 states and the 2 islands and the 1 district. Did they make DC a state yet? I don't even think they did. And that's another thing. DC should be a state. Puerto Rico is now trying to become a state. And it should be a state. God damn it, pay taxes. That's another thing. Puerto Rico should be a state. Pay taxes. We need the money. District of Columbia should be a state. It wants to be a state. Okay, come on. So it's us. It is us. We are the ones why those kids are dead. We are the ones why that man went and got a gun and shot the shit out of those doctors. It's us. Because we keep voting for the same motherfuckers over and over and over and over again. It's us. We are the stupid motherfuckers. Us. It's not the people that are registered to vote that don't go out and vote. They've been registered for 50 fucking years. And they still haven't voted. It's dumb motherfuckers like me. Keep going to the polls, voting for the same motherfucker. So we need to stop doing that. Why are we voting for Nancy Pelosi? She's doing the same goddamn thing she's been doing for 30 years. Why are you voting for Mitch McConnell? He's doing the same goddamn thing he's been doing for 30 years. Are they going to change? No. So let's stop talking about Democrat, Republican, Independent, and let's do something about it. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. Have a nice day.